Hello, Elizabeth here, and today I'm going to show you how I made this ocean spray mermaid peekaboo tumbler using the Dawn PowerWash method. Peekaboo tumblers are so much fun to make, and the Dawn PowerWash method is perfect for creating these realistic looking beachy bubbles. I'm gonna walk you through everything step by step. I started with this holographic wine tumbler. You can start with any tumbler you like, and the color of your tumbler is going to be what shines through your peekaboo designs. So at this point you could add some glitter or any other base coat, but I'm going to stick with this holographic finish. Next I created my peekaboo decals. I found these mermaid tail and starfish designs in the Canva Elements library and uploaded them to Cricut Design Space to cut out with my Cricut machine. These decals are going to protect that base coat of your tumbler from being covered with the spray paint, and they will be peeled off later to reveal the color of your tumbler. So you can add as many or as few as you like, depending on how much of the original tumbler color you want to see in the end result. Make sure you're using removable vinyl instead of permanent vinyl so that peeling it off the tumbler will be much easier for you later. Once my decals were cut, I weeded the excess vinyl, applied a layer of transfer tape over the whole sheet, and then cut each of them out to be applied to the tumbler. I set up the tumbler on my tumbler turner and cleaned the entire surface with rubbing alcohol to make sure nothing would interfere with the decals sticking to the surface. Then I applied each of the decals where I wanted them to sit on the tumbler. I ended up cutting out a few more starfish after this and adding those as well because some areas felt a little too empty. Next, I took the tumbler outside and I used the stick and foam insert of my tumbler turner to hold it so that my hands wouldn't get in the way. I sprayed the tumbler all over with Dawn PowerWash to create the bubble designs. Then I used a glossy white spray paint to coat the entire tumbler. Make sure you're wearing gloves for this and are working in a well-ventilated area. After letting the spray paint sit for a minute, I rinsed off the tumbler with water to remove the PowerWash. As you can see, after I rinsed it, some of the decals I applied weren't fully covered in spray paint. I think just because I had too much PowerWash on the tumbler. And I was panicking, so I apologize I did this next part off camera, but I ended up spraying a bit more spray paint directly on each of the decals to make sure that their outline would be really prominent, and you can really see the shape of the mermaid tails and the starfish when I remove them. This added some kind of half-transparent spray paint over top of some of the bubbles that were made with the Dawn PowerWash. You can see here that there's a really thin layer of spray paint on top of the bubbles, but I actually loved how that turned out because it made the bubbles look a bit more misty and less defined. And then the parts where I had the vinyl really stand out and look more defined. So the look of the bubbles with the extra spray paint on top of them actually worked in my favor to soften them a bit and give a nice backdrop for the mermaids and starfish to stand against. Next, I used a hook-shaped weeding tool to remove each of the vinyl decals on the cup. I let the paint fully dry before doing this, but I didn't get back to it until the next day, which worked out fine, but I would recommend doing this step as soon as you can after the paint is pretty much dry, so that the edges don't get too stuck to the vinyl decals. I had a couple pieces of vinyl that peeled up some of the paint with them, and it's barely noticeable, but I think it would have been better if I hadn't left it quite so long before removing these. Once all my decals were removed and everything was looking good, my final step was to coat the tumbler with resin to seal everything in and make it super durable. I like to use UV resin to do this, which can be controversial because of food safety, but I only ever use it on the outside of a tumbler, never the inside that touches the beverage, and I'm always drinking out of them with a straw or a plastic lid with a ridge on it. So nothing is coming into direct contact with the resin, but you can absolutely do what makes you comfortable and use 2-part resin or any other sealer you like. I use a heat gun to thin the resin out nice and even and pop any bubbles, and then I cure it on my tumbler turner under a UV lamp for a few minutes. You can also cure UV resin outside on a sunny day. And here is the final result. I really love the effect of these PowerWash bubbles around the mermaid tails, and I love the way the holographic finish of the cup looks shining through the white spray paint. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment letting me know what sort of projects you'd like to see in the future. See you later!